everyone, welcome to Morning Space Lab. Let's continue the topic. By default, Kubernetes cluster deploys an old version of Kubernetes Dashboard. In some cases, this is not necessary. For example, if we just focus on command line interface Control, we don't need a web UI. In such case, if we skip dashboard deployment during the launch, it can make the bootstrap even faster. This is also supported by specifying an environment variable called skip dashboard. With these optimizations, a launch that restores from snapshot on my local machine only takes 40 seconds, and a clean start that pulls images from local private registries and skips dashboard deployment only takes 2 minutes and a half, and all that can happen without network connection. There are some other usages that you may also be interested. When we need dashboard, by default, Kubernetes cluster deploys dashboard version 1.6, which is an older version of the dashboard. To use newer version or the latest version, you can specify the download URL for the dashboard deployment YAML using an environment variable called dashboard URL. There's one more thing to note. Since version 1.7, Kubernetes Dashboard enforces its security and can only be accessed over the HTTPS by default. The access URL is different. If we use Kubernetes cluster to deploy the dashboard, this will be printed out to the console log at last when the cluster launch is finished. Make sure you pick up the right URL based on which version that you deploy and whether or not the HTTPS is enabled. Helm is another great tool that people frequently use to deploy applications into Kubernetes cluster. I'm not going to describe how to install Helm in this video. You can find all the installation details on its online documentation. Given that Helm CLI is installed, after Kubernetes cluster brings up the cluster, you can run Helm init to install Tailor, which is the server portion of Helm, into your cluster. Then wait for a while and run Helm version to verify the installation. You will see the server version information after Tailor is installed. Finally, don't forget to create a snapshot by running snapshot command. So next time, when you bring up the cluster by Kubernetes cluster from snapshot, you don't have to reinstall Helm again. As I mentioned earlier, we can choose which Kubernetes version we use to launch. This is done by setting the environment variable called data Kubernetes version. For example, this is going to launch Kubernetes version 1.10. We can even run the latest snapshot of Kubernetes by building from source. This is natively supported by kubeadm Dean cluster and inherited by lab Kubernetes. You just need to git clone Kubernetes source and set environment variables, build kubeadm, and build hyperkube to Y. Then run the wrapper from the root folder of Kubernetes source code. The first run can be slow because it needs to build a base image and Kubernetes binaries, but subsequent runs are much faster. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope that you find this video useful, and if you did, please share it. I would appreciate it. This is Morning Space Lab. See you next time.